Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live. It's me, Joey P. Joe Pizza P is still alive after the 4.5-hour onslaught that was the NFL draft last night. And with me, called up from the minor leagues yet again. You know, sometimes we send him back down for seasoning, but I think he's ready to stick this time. It's Joe Orrico, everybody. The Welsh is off today. Orrico, it's good to see you. Two Joes, one show. What could go wrong?
You know, the manager came into my office last night. He said, we're going to need you for a spot start tomorrow. They got the hidden camera and everything. And there was a big scene on social media. No, I'm very happy to be here, Joe. We were both kind of cheating on baseball last night. You with football, me with hockey with my Toronto Maple Leafs. But let's get into the action, my friend.
I was more than cheating. I was in a whole other relationship. I mean, that was Mormon style last night with me in the NFL draft. But I rested all morning and I'm back at it again. And we're here to talk baseball today. And if you missed it, go back and watch our coverage on Fantasy Pros because it was awesome. D-Bro, Fitzy, Bogman, Russell Brown, everybody just so good on that show. Andrew Erickson. It was a great, fun evening of football, of posturing, of the take on the picks. All the other stuff is up there too in terms of the breakdowns and the shorter clips from the video. So go check all of it out. It was fantastic. And of course, we're back at it again tonight, 6:30. Join us. I'll be there. Believe me, somehow I will make it. Let's get to the baseball talk, though, because we've got a lot to go on. And specifically, we got to talk about some pitchers, the good, the bad, that was last night, Thursday. The Royals, Cole Ragans was struggling a little bit yesterday, kind of around the corners of the strike zone. Short start. Everybody had high expectations because it was against the Rockies, and everybody wants a big strikeout total against the Rockies. But unfortunately, it was not to be for Cole Ragans. Not only did he struggle, but he came out of the game early with groin tightness. Now, we don't have any updates as of yet on this, but the good news is always, well, it's not an arm thing, so that's good. Maybe he just didn't have it yesterday. Maybe that groin issue was bothering him from the bullpen on. It's hard to tell. But Joe Orrico, whenever you have an ace have an issue, especially coming out in a game that looked like a slam dunk for productivity, that's always a huge bummer.
Yeah, it's 2 in a row for Ragans as well because the previous start lasted only 4 innings, 5 earned runs, and 3 walks at Detroit. So it's 2 starts where you figure he would have done well, that he disappointed. Now, I don't know how much to read into the groin injury. It's a good thing that it's not arm, forearm, shoulder related, but I think we just kind of have to wait and see here. But I will say that everything below the surface for Ragans looks really good. As long as he gets a clean bill of health here, if that 4.40 ERA is scaring the guy who has Ragans in your league, I would throw in an offer because I think that he's going to be fine at the end of the day.
Speaking of offers, M. Rich is joining us today. First time Prime subscriber. Shout out to M. Rich joining us here live on Twitch, twitch.tv/fantasypros. First time liver. We love all when you guys join us live for the first time. About 3 weeks ago, I proposed a trade giving away Langford and Max Maher for Schwellenbach. The guy never responded to it, and I completely forgot about it. I woke up this morning to a notification that the traded process. Should I let this ruin my Friday, or is there room to be hopeful? Richie, this is on you, baby. You got to know the trade offers you have, and you got to be aware of them. And if you want to pull them away, look, Schwellenbach is terrific. So, you know, I don't want to. And Max Maher has, I think, pitched over his head just a tad. Wyatt Langford, since he's come back from the injury, has raked, though. Do I love this trade for you? No, I don't think it should ruin your Friday, Joe Orrico. But a lesson learned, a hard lesson to hear from Rich, which is if you send out trade proposals, you better be aware. And honestly, you make sure that within 24 hours, 48 hours, you pull that thing because you never know when somebody gets hurt. And the last thing you want is to get stuck with players that are injured. So, Joe, any other advice you want to give to Rich here on this one?
Well, yeah, I wouldn't let it ruin your week or your weekend or anything. It's not amazing, but it's really not the end of the world. Schwellenbach could still be an SP1 this year. He has ace-like ceiling to him. Max Maher is very good. Langford is fantastic, but it's not like you traded, 2 first rounders and got back a 6th rounder or something. It's not amazing, but it's not the end of the world either.
All right, let's go to another question here. I believe I'm saying this right. El Ciba Cruz. I have 4 shortstops: Willie Adames, Turner, Bichette, and Pena. Thoughts on who I should start, bench, or use as utility or drop maybe for rest of season? And now that Snell won't play for a bit, should I replace him with somebody like Myers, Casey Mize, or even Rope? What do you want to do here with all these shortstops here? Or Rope, excuse me.
So Willie Adames, you probably have to hold because
And doesn't mean Max Meyer. Is Max Meyer the one floating out there? Because he says Myers out here. Could
I
that
would
be?
imagine could be Jake
Okay.
Myers, maybe, but
Well,
it
it says
doesn't.
M. Myers. Well, I assume you
Yeah,
mean Max Meyer. If Max Meyer is out there, I want to pick him up. So I'm fine dropping somebody here. And Casey Mize, I'm fine dropping too. You can never have enough pitching, especially if you have Snell. I think you want to cover your bases. So who would you drop out of this? I would assume Pena is the first guy off the island, right?
I guess it would have to be, but Pena's really good, really underrated, having a solid start to the year. I would probably see if I can pull off some kind of trade, try and trade Turner or Bichette. Because if you're trading Adames, you're selling low right now. I would kind of explore the trade market and see if you're getting back a decent offer for either of those two. Because dropping any of them is going to be kind of tricky. I think if you had to drop one, gun to the head, it's probably Pena, but I would try and explore a trade there first if you can.
Yeah, it seems like shallow league problems right here. This reeks of that to
Yeah.
me. So I'm gonna say it's Max Meyer here. Uh, Pick him up, drop Pena. It sucks, but I don't know. I mean, Adamas value is pretty low right now, so that's pretty tricky. Let's get to another pitching performance from yesterday. Jacob deGrom, no decision, allowed 2 runs, 5 1/3, 6 strikeouts against the Athletics on Thursday. So you've been the biggest Jacob deGrom guy. So this is the first time you and I have gotten to talk in season about him. I know
Yeah.
you talked about him a little with the Welsh when I was not around last week. So what do you give Jacob deGrom so far as April's coming to a close in terms of a grade on his return?
It's been a little bit lesser than I expected just in terms of the strikeouts, but a 3.33 ERA, a 1.07 whip. He's got the strikeout minus walk rate up to 17%. And he's had a couple of tricky matchups recently going into Oakland or going into, I did it again, going into the Athletics ballpark has been pretty tricky. Their offense has been very good. He just faced the Dodgers and did well. So I've been overall pretty encouraged. That start against Seattle wasn't great. That was the one where you were kind of hoping for a massive, massive start out of him. But by and large, it's been pretty solid. He's kind of learning how to pitch at a lower velocity, trying to keep himself healthy this year. I'm not really concerned. I was a little bit after the first couple starts, but he's kind of set my worries at ease.
This is really funny too. I'm looking at this in the chat, and by the way, it was I believe Max Meyer, so we got clarity on that. Young Maj or Mage, I don't know how you say it. I drafted my girlfriend's team because I needed one more team for my 12-team league, and her team is way better than mine. I knew this would happen. That is hilarious. That is brilliant. I love that. So you better give her the championship. I mean, it's her team if she's managing it. If it's just like a ghost team, that's not great, but whatever. Corbin Burnes, 3 runs, 1 earned, struck out 8 5 1/3, but no decision for him. That was kind of a bummer. I thought we'd get a W there with Burnes on the mound. So Burnes has been a guy that's concerned me. This is a good outing for him in terms of strikeouts for sure. So any takeaways from Burnes' performance last night, Joe?
He still kind of worries me overall. Last night was probably his best start of the season. He did walk 3 batters, which I don't love to see, but overall he has been trending in the right direction. I just still, when you look at the year-over-year strikeout rate trends, if you look at those ERA estimators, his whip is still at 135. Everything has kind of been trending in the wrong direction. So I think I'm kind of in the sell camp for Corbin Burnes. I'm not really that confident. If you can get another SP1 back for him, I'd probably be doing that. Not to say that you have to sell him, things are going to be awful, but I'm a little bit worried about what to expect going forward.
Another question here from M. Silva, Max Meyer and Andrew Painter for Crochet in a 12-team auction points league. Look, I
Yeah.
mean, what do you yeah, like you want Crochet, like, right? Like that's what you're saying, yes?
If you can get Crochet for those two, do it.
I mean, do it right
Pause the
now.
show and go do it right now and come back and keep listening.
Yeah, don't even pause the show. Just you can do that. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, definitely Crochet over those guys. All right. Let's continue on here with another pitching performance. Tobias Myers back for the Brewers. No decision against the Giants yesterday in his 2025 debut. 2 runs, 4 hits, over 4 innings of work. Myers, another piece of this rotation. You're going to get Woodruff hopefully back, I would think, in the days ahead, maybe even as soon as next week. That's encouraging. I think the Brewers make a run here. I do not believe in the Cubs. You know that, Joe. I've said it before. I think the Cubs have a lot of issues that are underlying that are going to rear their ugly head sooner than later. I think Justin Steele is a loss you cannot fathom to have right now and stay in this thing over 162 games. So Myers last night back. What's his value rest of season? Is he a spot starter for you in matchups? Are you somebody you're just leaving in the back end of your rotation?
I play in a lot of deeper leagues, and in anything that's deeper than 12 teams, I think that he should be rostered. I think in 12 teamers, he's kind of a borderline guy where he could be rostered in some leagues. Last year, he was really solid, like a 117 whip, a 3 ERA, solid 16% strikeout minus walk. He's a very good pitcher. I don't think the ceiling is terribly high. So if you're in a shallower league and you are seeing like a Max Meyer or somebody like that on the waiver wire, I would make that swap and kind of use him as more of a streamer. But I'd also be perfectly fine to keep him at the end of your bench as your, sixth, seventh, eighth starting pitcher because he is serviceable.
A lot of questions today. Bubic or Alcantara rest of season? I'm going with Sandy here. Sorry. I know Bubic has been great, but I'm going to rely on the guy come back from Tommy John who is still getting a feel back from pitching. I think once he gets that feel back, we're in good shape. That's my opinion.
Plus, we're probably going to see him get dealt at some point. You'd think.
You think?
It's a very team friendly contract, so maybe they don't, or maybe they're asking for too much. But I think it is Sandy by a hair for me as well.
Game over. Shota, Olsen, Paris, Ben Rice for Quan, Cease, Luzardo, Wilmer Flores. Who won this trade at 10-team head-to-head roto?
Shota, Olsen, Paris, and Ben Rice. That's a lot of moving pieces.
I like the Quan, Cease, Luzardo side personally.
Yeah, I think it's relatively even. I don't think there's like a huge winner or loser here.
I don't know, man. I get Quan's look, Olsen's a nice power hitter, but Shota's underlying metrics have not been good this year.
Yeah.
Cease is a stud. Quan's productive. Lazaro looks like a frontline starter right now again. I like that end of this trade. Now, Flores is not going to keep up this pace. So just so you know, you need another first base option here because I don't think that's going to take you very far. D's 12 team points, Francisco Alvarez, Kyber Ruiz, or Augustine Ramirez. I'm going Alvarez here, Joe. Where are you going?
My lean is kind of Keybear in a points league. He just doesn't strike out a lot. I think that really is going to. It depends on how your point scoring system works, but I think it's Keybear for me. They're all relatively close, but Augustine Ramirez is pretty exciting, Joe.
He is exciting, but I think that Mets lineup is pretty exciting too when it's going to get going completely.
Yeah.
And Alvarez looked better this spring. I like the adjustments he made to the batting stance. I think we could. I mean, again, we forget Francisco Alvarez was there for the bat.
How much does the hand worry you? How much does the hand stuff worry you?
Well, it should worry you a little bit, but at the same time, the fact that he's back so soon tells me that it was a minor sort of issue.
Yeah.
It was a minor fracture. It wasn't to the extent of like back in the day. Remember Pablo Sandoval had the same thing and he was never the same player. And he was out for a long period of time. He was out for months with that hamate. So I think might have been a much lower end version of that. Should Woodruff be stashed in a 10-team league on IL? Absolutely. Go do that right now. Again, right now. That's why we want you to do all these things. Let's do the Lookie. Feel good moment. Matt Gorski, solo homer yesterday in his major league debut. Fun fact there too. He was saying that his first at bat in every single level of the major leagues except AAA was a home run in terms of his first hit. That was pretty cool. Now he's 27 years old. He's got some power. It's a nice story. Whether it's fantasy relevant, I don't know, but he was slashing 300, 325, 529 with 3 homers, 14 ribbies, 2 steals in 77 plate appearances. Look, the Pirates need help. I don't know if he's a streamer even in a deep league, Joe, but I mean, it was at least a feel-good moment. Is there anything else you want to give to Gorski here from his fun debut for the Pirates yesterday?
He's kind of a career minor leaguer. He's been kicking around for a long time. Bad lineup. I don't think there's much here, really. If you're in like an NL only league, maybe you take a chance on him, but I think the majority of players can just ignore this.
Yeah, I would think so. Perfect transition here from one of our watchers from Coling. Devers is giving me massive heartburn. Well, if you listen to Uncle Joey, maybe you would have been out from that already, which brings us to today's Microsoft Chasing Challengers, brought to you by Microsoft. Just like the athletes who push boundaries and redefine what's possible in business, decision makers today are turning challenges into opportunities, and Microsoft meets you where you are with tools and guidance to help you make an impact with safe, secure AI solutions. So whatever challenges you're facing, Microsoft empowers you with the expertise to say, bring it on. In this segment, we're going to give a spotlight to Rafael Devers, who yesterday went a big old fat 0 for 4 with 2 strikeouts, his 5th straight hitless game. This is a challenge for fantasy managers because Rafael Devers historically is a very good player. He's also coming off massive shoulder surgery. He also was not in shape coming into spring training, did not have the normal spring training. We've seen that affect players before very often when they don't have their normal routine. He is learning a new position, which is DH. Many great hitters, even healthy ones in their prime, can struggle sometimes with that transition. We've seen it time and time again. Yet everybody wanted to say, hey, everything's fine after a couple home runs one day against the St. Louis Cardinals. And now here we are back again with a guy who is basically crushing your fantasy team. So what do? You find a solution. You find somebody that looks at Rafael Devers in your league and says, oh, what a great buy low, and Devers is going to come back. I tried to tell you once before, I'm worried about him rest of season. Nobody wanted to hear the bad news. Nobody wanted to hear me sing the blues, but unfortunately, the song that's being sung right now for Rafael Devers, it's a sad one if you have him in any fantasy league. So if you can get out, because I don't see it getting better anytime soon in 2025. Maybe I'm wrong, but the problem is, even if it does turn around, we'll be too late for your fantasy team. That is the challenge that's facing everybody who's got Rafael Devers. And don't worry, because Microsoft is going to help you with any of your challenges with their AI solutions that empower you to take bold steps and new ideas to help drive your business forward. With Microsoft as your trusted partner, you can navigate your journey with confidence, finding innovative solutions and reaching new possibilities. Visit Microsoft.com/challengers to learn more. So Rafael Devers not having a good time so far in 2025. Let's go to the ups and downs. Zach Neto, go ahead, homer in the 8th inning. That was great to see. MacKenzie Gore, another quality start. 8 more strikeouts for him against the Orioles. And Michael Lorenzen, outstanding in his game, 7 strikeouts in 6 innings. But let's go to Gore, who's leading the league in strikeouts right now. I got to say, I looked at Gore as an interesting late round pick there in rotations. I wish I had more shares, Joe, because in a lot of mock drafts I had him. But right now, currently leading the league in strikeouts. So is Gore sustainable here as one of the top guys on the board at SP, or is this eventually going to regress somewhere else?
It's really dependent on his command, I think, because we've seen the walk rate get down to the 6% range. The big thing with MacKenzie Gore is that he's always been a whip killer, 147, 140, and 142 in his career. And a good chunk of that is due to the 12, 9.5, and 9% walk rates we've seen. But if he's in the 6% range, he can really live there with success. The strikeout bump, I think it's legitimate to a certain extent. Do I think he's going to be in the mid 30s, the high 30s? No, because no one really does that. But he can be like a 28, 29% strikeout rate guy. As long as the command is good, I think MacKenzie Gore is at worst the top 25, top 30 starting pitcher. What do you think? Where would you rank him?
I would definitely say top 30. And the strikeouts are for real. Now, some of the matchups he's had this year too have been a little bit more favorable too. So I'm fascinated to see when he has more games. Like the Mets are coming to town this weekend, right? Like he's not going to face them, unfortunately, but he's going to eventually face some of these better lineups, right? More Braves, more Phillies, more Mets in this schedule that's laying ahead of him. Yeah. I'm fascinated to see how he does. If he handles those lineups well, then I think we can really look at Gore as saying he's finally made that jump. That's my take on MacKenzie Gore. But right now, man, you got to love the productivity you're getting. He's got more than 50 strikeouts already, and we're not even in May. The downs from yesterday, Drew Rasmussen, 4 runs, 5 innings. Thursday, no decision against the D-backs. Chase Dollander, rough against the Royals. 5 runs, 7 hits, 4 2/3. And Garrett Crochet gave up 4 runs and 5 innings in a loss to the Mariners. Now, he did have 9 strikeouts, but he also walked 5 guys. A season high 110 pitches. And Welsh is not here today, but we do have a videotaped response to share with you from Mike Maher's earlier 2 Mondays ago, dropping some Crochet love, maybe a little hate from the Welsh. Let's take a look.
Happy Friday, America. Or should I say, happy Friday, everyone. But Mike Maher.
Happy Monday to everybody except Welsh. And I say that on behalf of Garrett Crochet, who went out there on Sunday and shoved. And when I say shoved, I mean shoved it in Welsh's face. Because Welsh came on here last week trashing Garrett Crochet. I'm worried about Garrett Crochet. He doesn't look great. He doesn't have the fastball. The changeup doesn't look good.
Well, this one goes out to all the truth seekers and the inquisitors on the podcast. Because I want you to learn and be better, and I want to ask the big questions. I don't want to silence you like Mike Maher wants you to ask no questions. He wants to be the be-all, end-all, the commander-in-chief of fantasy baseball. Dare I say the dictator of fantasy baseball. It's truly disheartening that someone is not willing to just look a little bit further. I want to give you the tools to ask the big questions, not silence them. And Garrett Crochet brought more questions to the table that may try to be silenced. This last start wasn't no-hitter-esque, was it? 110 pitches over 5 innings, 4 earned runs, which gave up in the first 2 innings, and 5 walks. Fastball command was barely over 50%. All the other pitches under 50%. Cutter wasn't cutting. Strikeouts weren't striking. He just doesn't seem right. Now, maybe it's just the first month and things are cold. Maybe it's nothing at all, or maybe also he's changing as a pitcher in a hitter-friendly environment, throwing more sinkers, which is creating more contact and getting less whiffs. I don't know. I love the guy, but I did think things seemed a little bit off. But Mike, I got an idea here. Since we had so much fun with the name game before, when Garrett Crochet almost threw a no-hitter, and then we were like, oh, Welsh is so hilarious. I got a name for you. So let's do it after this start. Let's go Mike, but let's take the last name, Callie. Let's go Meh. Meh. Little baby. E-R. Mike. Meh. In the chat. Can I get some mehs in the chat? I think we can.
Wow. That was a good time. Incredible production value as well. Shout out to Michael Callie and the rest of our crew here for putting that together, especially the turnaround on draft day. That was pretty great. I see the Mez coming out there in the chat already. Who has more fun than us, Joe Orrico? I mean, really, baseball shows can be very boring, can be very stale. Nobody has fun like we have fun around here.
We've kicked it up this year, man. I think having the live producer really just takes the show to a whole other level this year. It's fantastic. I mean, it's only April and we're already killing it.
Yeah, people don't realize that I used to produce the show as hosting it at the same time. It's a lot going on. So having the team behind us certainly does help. That was fantastic. I can't wait to see the next good start from Garrett Crochet and then the salvo back from Mike Maher. It's going to be a good time. Eventually, maybe we can get those two crazy kids together. Let's talk injuries. So Kumar Rocker, we were crushing yesterday and saying, well, he's probably going to get sent down. Well, he got sent to the injured list instead, right shoulder impingement. So Joe Orrico, I assume this is a real injury. I assume also Leiter's going to take his spot in the rotation like we thought yesterday. But Kumar Rocker has been a volatile stock, to say the least, so far in 2025.
He's been brutal. Like, the strikeouts aren't there. He's not walking anybody, which is something that I was a little bit concerned about. 5% walk rate, but he's a 1.75 whip and an 8.10 ERA. A lot of the supporting metrics suggest that it should be better, but he's getting barreled up 12% of the time, more than 50% of the time. It's a hard hit, lots of homers, lots of everything bad. I think you might have been right, Joe. I think that they should put him in the pen, put him in the ninth inning.
Clean ninth inning, young guy, innings situation. Mason Miller was the blueprint, folks.
Yeah.
And I talked about it with Mason Miller the year before they moved him to the bullpen. Hey, Rocker should be a closer. Just saying, it's pretty easy. Life or death has a question here before we get to more injuries. Got offered Sandy, Job, and Teoscar for Wu and PCA, who's been red hot right now. Problem is, my staff is Snell, Strider, McClanahan, deGrom. Yikes. So you could use some pitching help. Wu is a good starter, though. PCA playing out of his mind. Would you take this deal in life or death situation?
I think the Sandy side is where I would prefer to go. Sandy, like we've talked about earlier, I think think he's going to be fine. Teoscar batting fourth for the Dodgers is in a fantastic spot. And even though Job hasn't been striking guys out, the performance has been really good. With Wu, I worry about his ability to pitch a whole season. And PCA, I think it's a good time to kind of explore a sell high on him. So I would take the trio.
Yeah, I don't think what he's doing is sustainable. Good adjustments he's made. Certainly a great second half last year. Very hard-nosed player. I like him. But at the same time, it's unsustainable. That's what I was saying about Soderstrom, too. Some things are just unsustainable. Tommy Edman, unsustainable. The Mets activated Jeff McNeil from the 10-day IL. They sent Brent Beatty to Syracuse. No surprise there. Look for Luis Angel Acuna, though. Start playing some center field. I'm telling you, it's going to happen real soon. So let's see what happens today with that lineup. Looks like Royce Lewis begins a rehab assignment today in AAA. Yay, coming back from the hamstring. So over-under games played before he goes on the IL again. I will set the number at 7.5, Joe Orrico. You want to go over or under?
Oh, man. I'll go over, but not by a lot. If you'd set it at like 11.5, I would have had to really think
that was the first number in my head. And I was like, no, that's too many. It's too many. It's too many games. Next up here, Willie Castro goes on the IL as well with the oblique strain, so can't catch a break for the Twinkies. The Rays put Jake Mangum on the 10-day IL with the groin strain, and the Nationals activated CJ Abrams from the 10-day IL. So that brings us, Joey, to our fun part of the show. It's time. You know what to do, right? I hope you know what to do.
Oh, I know it.
All right. It's time for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and Joe Orrico. And today I'm going to go look at Kodai Senga, who's been awesome. Let's go over 16.5 outs recorded, minus 114. Kodai Senga's ghost forkball looks for real. He looks the sharpest he ever has in the major leagues. At times in his career, he was walking too many, but now it feels like he is really settling into the identity of the pitcher that we thought he might become. And that could be an ace in fantasy. So Senga looks terrific. Good matchup for him. The Nats are tough, but I think he can get through them for 17 outs today. Andrew Abbott, 5.5 strikeouts for him. Let's take the over. Another good matchup there on the other side. So minus 114. Let's take the over. Abbott's been very good. Again, a good matchup for him tonight. And Nick Kurtz, I'm doing it again. Let's take Nick Kurtz to hit a home run and the A's on the money line, the Athletics, at minus 114 together. Actually, that number is higher than that. That number is plus 650. So apologies there. I was going to say minus 114. That's not right. Plus 650. It's wrong. Michael Calley's tired from all the draft stuff. So Nick Kurtz homer, Athletics money line. You put those two things together, you get plus 650. It's a huge risk and a huge reward. It's Friday. Let's have some fun. Joe Orrico, walk us through your best bets for the day. I did Ron Burgundy myself there, which is weird because I know what everything is. I put my bets in and I still self-burgundied. That's crazy. I can't believe I did that. I'm tired. Last night was a long night. We didn't get finished till midnight. So Joe Orrico, what do you have here for the folks on a fun Friday?
You definitely get a pass, Joe. So let's start with Shane Baz going up against the Padres, who don't really strike out, which is where I'm going with this one. Under 5.5 strikeouts, the Padres are striking out less than any team in baseball to this point, and I think we're going to shade to the under there. Cal Quantrill, this is funny. It's Logan Gilbert, who may be the best pitcher in baseball right now, and Cal Quantrill, who might be the worst, will be facing up against each other tonight. But I'm taking Cal Quantrill over 2.5 walks. You're getting that at plus 110. The Mariners walk more than any team in baseball, almost 12% of the time, and Quantrill, as we know, he's kind of prone to the walk. 17 innings, 9 walks this year, and a whip over 2. No bueno whatsoever there. So I'm taking that at plus money. And then Hayden Wesneski, who I've kind of been in on as a breakout this season, goes up against the Royals, who don't really strike out a ton, but at 4.5, it's a low line at plus money. I'm really liking that. So Shane Baz under strikeouts, Cal Quantrill over walks, Hayden Wesneski over strikeouts as well.
All right, and if you're looking to place bets this weekend, make sure you're using the Betting Pros app and use our offer at fantasypros.com/leading off. New customers place their bets, get $5 when you bet, and you get $250 in bonus bets if it wins. So make sure you go check that out. And don't forget to use our prop bet cheat sheet on the BP app. If you're betting props this weekend, the MLB prop bet cheat sheet shows you the best value plays every single day. Get the daily prop value rankings based on projections. And you can find the best props for strikeouts, hits, home runs, no matter what it is. We've got them all. Use bettingpros.com/MLB props or just download the Betting Pros app. And remember, when you do, you get Betting Pros Premium 1 week free trial. The draft is still going on too for NFL. It's a perfect time to download the Betting Pros app. Use that promo code leading off when you do to get the 1 week free trial. Great stuff going on there. All right. So yes, the Abbott K's is minus 122. The Nick Kurtz, did I give a big enough pause in between? Home runs plus money line. See what I did there? Plus 650. I can't believe that salvo even had to go out. That's so stupid. Anyway, let's look at the home run board because there was no movement. Everybody took a night off. Nothing. Sammy Sosa jersey still available on our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. That's where you can win this bad boy by calling the most home runs this year. I've decided to wake the beast this weekend. Anthony Santander going into little itty bitty Yankee Stadium. Oh, so cute. It's so adorable. Yankee Stadium. I want to pinch your cheeks. You're so cute. You're so cute, Yankee Stadium. Who likes to give up offense? You do. Anthony Santander is not just due. He's overdue. Let's wake the beast. So this is for you, Joe Orrico, in honor of hanging out with my favorite Canadian. Joe, where do you want to go for your home run call this week? Or should I say Friday, at least?
I'm going to go with Mr. Colonel Kurtz himself. Nick Kurtz against Sean Burke going up in that, I was going to say Oakland again, in Sacramento, in that little ballpark again, where we're targeting the small ballparks, the hitter-friendly environments. That ballpark has been playing like, warm Coors Field so far this year. So I'll take it. He's gonna get his first, or I should say humid, I guess. It's Friday. He's gonna go yard today against Sean Burke. I'm feeling it. First career homer, plus 600 or plus 650, depending on your book. I like it.
I like it too, and this is what I kept saying. You get the A's money line on top of this. You can parlay it into some even bigger odds. But the best part is about this is that Joe Orrico and Joe Pisapia are both on Nick Kurtz hitting a home run today, and we're thinking the same, which is Sean Burke is basically AAA pitching, and he's been killing AAA pitching. And then once we get past Sean Burke, then we get some opportunities in that bullpen, and I think we're gonna get past Sean Burke probably around 4 2/3. So I like the chances for Nick Kurtz today to finally get on the board here, which would be very exciting. I want to thank all the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks for joining us today. And every single week, don't forget, we've got the cycle with more stuff dropping on YouTube. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. I want to get questions in here too before we go, because we got a bunch of them. Let's go to the Sir Butter. I drop Tyler Holton or Tanner Houck to activate Bell off the IR, Joe?
Probably Tyler Holton, I think. What about you? What are you thinking?
I agree with. I think Holton's the way I would go. Here's another one from Laser. Appreciate the advice I was offered. Alvarez for my Langford. Oh boy, oh boy.
I'm keeping Langford personally. I know it might be a hot take,
really?
but Jordan has not been amazing this year. I think it's opposite trajectories. I mean, Langford has his own injury concerns with the oblique, but Jordan every year has to miss time. I think it's just a guy who's heading upwards versus a guy who's kind of heading downward. I don't think it's a massive gap between them, but me personally, if it was my team, I'm taking Langford.
I gotta say, man, I'm hard pressed to turn away Alvarez. I know Langford's
Yeah.
played very well. I think it depends on the format. I didn't see what the format was. I don't think he put it on there, but I would say most likely. Look, I know what Alvarez is giving you steals. Like I get that, and I know what Langford's ceiling is, but I also seen the floor of Langford too. I've also seen him struggle for long periods of time.
Yeah.
So until he puts it all together, I'm still an Alvarez guy. But that could be wrong. So there's definitely some volatility there in that one. It was a great week of shows, everybody. And I also just want to shout out everybody who's joined our Twitch. I know people coming over in the month. It was weird. It was different for them. I just want to shout out all of you. And of course, you can always watch every episode on demand as well. And subscribe to the FantasyPros MLB YouTube channel. Drop your comments below because somebody just days away now is going to win a Nico Horner signed jersey. So drop your comments below. And of course, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell till it goes ding. That's all you have to do to be entered to win this bad boy. So go and do it today. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Enjoy the rest of your baseball. Shout out to Joe helping us today as the Welsh is at his jazz hands dance competition. So hopefully that goes well for him. And hopefully he'll have a medal or two when we see him on Monday. That'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For Joe Orrico, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Who's adorable? You are Yankee Stadium. You are adorable. Who's got little tiny fences? You do. You've got the littlest, cutest fence. Yes, you do. It's so cute.
The manager's coming in. He's sending me back down to the minors, guys.
Oh, no. What a tough yo-yo it is
gig
for Joe Orrico.